Manchester United secures talented midfielder with new contract. Manchester United has handed a new contract to promising academy midfielder Ruben Curley, a recognition of his impressive development within the club. The 19-year-old, a local talent from Manchester, has been a regular fixture in first-team training sessions at Carrington this season. This new contract rewards his strong progress and his resilience after overcoming a major setback. Curley, who plays in midfield, faced a difficult challenge last season, recovering from an ACL injury. However, he made a remarkable comeback, making 11 appearances in the under-18s FUT title-winning campaign and finishing the season by playing regularly for the under-21s. Throughout this period, Curley continued to impress under coach Travis Binion and posted a photo of himself with his new contract on social media on Monday evening. His academy teammates, including Dan Gore, Harry Amass, Ethan Wheatley, and Jack Fletcher, congratulated him in the comments, marking the achievement. Although recovering from an ACL injury can be a daunting task for many players, Curley has fully regained his fitness following his injury in August 2022. He is now focused on making his senior debut. Reflecting on his journey, Curley shared 2 years ago, devastated to have torn my ACL and experienced another setback. Without these challenges, I wouldn't be the person or player I am today, and they are all part of my journey. Time to focus on my recovery and come back stronger and more determined than ever. The club has a strong tradition of promoting youth academy players to the first-team setup when extra numbers are needed in training, and Curley has capitalized on those opportunities to take a step forward. It's believed that under-21s coach Binion plays a key role in advising the first-team staff on which academy players should progress to first-team training, with Darren Fletcher also playing a vital role in the development of the club's rising stars. Ruben Amorim must do what Erik Ten Hag only did once with Manchester United's best player. Ruben Amorim recently noticed that one of Manchester United's star players looked a little tired during the second half against Nottingham Forest and emphasized the need to protect him. While it may seem absurd to rest your best player when you're trying to figure out your strongest starting 11, Amorim might have to do exactly that in the coming weeks. After a slow start to the season by his usual high standards, Bruno Fernandes has begun to produce the goals and assists expected of him at United. But Amorim's comments on Fernandes' performance in the aftermath of the Nottingham Forest loss should not be overlooked. He scored a goal, but he was tired with the transitions, Amorim said. I could have left Bruno Fernandes on the field, but I felt Mason Mount, who's also good with set pieces and very technical, could make a difference, and we needed fresh legs. If you watched the game, you'd see how transitions played out. If you lose the ball and concede another goal, it's over. So, I used all my substitutions. With so many games, I felt Bruno was a bit tired. Substituting your best and most creative player while chasing a goal requires courage, and Amorim deserves praise for recognizing Fernandes' fatigue and making the decision that was best for the team. Ten Hag also spoke often in his early months about the need for rotation, much like he did in his final year at Ajax, aiming to keep players fresh amid persistent injury issues. However, Fernandes seemed almost exempt from this policy during Ten Hag's time at United. In Ten Hag's first season, Fernandes played 59 of the 62 games, missing 3 due to suspension. In the second season, he featured in 48 of 52 matches, missing 1 due to suspension and 2 due to injury. The only other game he missed was a Carabao Cup tie where he was named as an unused substitute. This season, Fernandes has played in every match he was available for, with his only absence being a suspension in the Europa League. While the previous 9 matches were overseen by Ruud van Nistelrooy and Amorim, it means that in over 2.5 years under Ten Hag, Fernandes was rested for a full game only once. When questioned about Fernandes' workload, Ten Hag said in his first year, Bruno can handle very high load standards and can play many games. He is very fit and extremely important for this team. As captain, he sets an example on the pitch with the energy he puts in, and in our tactical approach during both transition moments. It's worth noting that Ten Hag was by no means the only manager to rely so heavily on Fernandes. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer rarely gave him a rest, and he was almost always present during his time at Sporting. Fernandes' availability is admirable, and it's natural to want to use your best player as much as possible. However, with more games added to the calendar due to the change in the Europa League format, and potentially more fixtures if United progresses in domestic cup competitions and knockout stages in Europe, Fernandes will need protection. Resting your best player is always a gamble, but if United wants Fernandes at his peak when they need him most, Amorim may have no choice but to take that risk. José Mourinho demands justice for Manchester United with clear message on Manchester City's potential relegation. José Mourinho has made it clear that he is not calling for Manchester City to be severely punished for their alleged financial violations in the Premier League, but he does demand justice. The former Manchester United manager spoke out after reports of the ongoing legal proceedings into City's financial misconduct, following their success under Pep Guardiola. Mourinho, who led Manchester United to a second-place finish in the Premier League during the 2017-18 season, has always regarded that campaign as one of the highlights of his career. Despite winning the Champions League with Porto and Inter Milan, his second-place finish at Old Trafford remains United's best since Sir Alex Ferguson's departure in 2014. That season, United finished 19 points behind Manchester City, who achieved a remarkable 100-point tally under Guardiola. Over the years, much has been said about the rivalry between Mourinho and Guardiola, which dates back to their time at Real Madrid and Barcelona, with their occasional public spats. Recently, Guardiola pointed out that he has won twice as many Premier League titles as Mourinho, but the former United boss responded by stating that his titles were won fairly, referencing the ongoing allegations against City. After the completion of the legal process examining City's financial misdeeds, Mourinho was asked about the situation during his pre-match press conference ahead of Fenerbahce's game against Athletic Bilbao. Mourinho denied wanting City to face relegation, one of the potential penalties being discussed, but emphasized that he only seeks justice. "We worked together for 3 years. We know that we respect each other," Mourinho said, according to Fanatic. "It's not true that I want them relegated. What is true is that I want justice. Smaller teams can sometimes be penalized by FFP when they exceed their limits by just 5 or 10 euros. I also suffered from the limits when I was at Roma. I don't think that's fair. We respect each other. He knows that. Words are one thing. Feelings are another. All I want is justice. But we have no hard feelings towards each other." Mourinho's statement underscores his belief in fair competition and justice in football, calling for the right penalties without personally targeting City or Guardiola.